Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you, those of you who are watching us live here from the Robert Verney Show. I'd like to thank you for signing. Again, it's a beautiful day. We feel fall in Florida. Again, I'd like to say to you that those of you who already voted, kudos to you. And if you have not, you have one, I just not even a day. You have less than 16 hours to vote. Again, I'd like for you to contact your friends or family members. I want each one of your viewers to contact your family member, friends, and let them know that to vote tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is it's D-Day, D-Day. Again, this is Monday, November 2nd, 2020. Just to give you a side note, this morning as I was pondering about tonight's show, and something comes to mind, say, well, when I look at the numbers 11, I say everything on that number give me 2. I said 1 1 is 2. 0 2, 0 plus 2 is 2. 20, 2 plus 0, 2. 0 plus 2, 2. So in other words, it's a 2 2 all across the board. I have great news for you this evening. We have two important news I'd like to share with you. It has to do with the federal court with regards to immigration. As you know, the Trump administration recently has tried to pan point those of you who may have used public assistance in the case of welfare or housing and food stamps. If you were thinking about bringing somebody in the U.S. or if you were sponsoring someone to come to the U.S., you would be denied that right. However, the Federal Court of Appeal struck it down. I'd like to say it's a big win for immigrants here in the U.S. There was a form called 944, which requires you to fill out that form if in an entirety, whereas you have to declare your tax return, your credit score, how much you have earned for the year, and even your education. So they wanted to see that the person that you're bringing in will be self-sufficient and not be a burden to the state. So this was struck down by the federal judge as of this morning. So that's good news. Second good news again, it's a great news. It has to do with Harris County, which is a county in the great state of Texas. As you know, the state of Texas has recently had a drive-through voting. This is unheard of, but you know, with the this ticket is so exciting. This election in particular, it it has never been seen before. Again, the Harris County, which is the largest county in the state of Texas, they could not sustain the need and the request for voting. So what they did, they went ahead and proceed with the drive-through, and then some 127,000 people casted the ballot. Again, the GOP in Texas had a petition where to the court to throw out these votes. They didn't think these votes were legal. They didn't think they were a good idea because simply it was a disadvantage to the other party. The federal court this morning, again, great news. The federal court this morning said that, well, these votes will be counted toward this election. So I think it's a great thing, and we could see that in the state of Texas. They have tried everything in their power to suppress the vote ever since the 2013 with the change in the voting law. You could see that Texas was the very first state to implement a voter ID, and at the same time they closed quite a few driver licenses, because if you don't have a driver license, if you have some type of identification, you could not register to vote. So Texas has always been a pioneer when it comes to denying American citizens the right to vote. So those were the two good news I wanted to share with you on of the start of the hour. I thought you would be excited to hear these good news, and then we keep on marching, and we can't wait for tomorrow evening. And now, with regards to tomorrow morning, the polling place will be open at 7 o'clock a.m., 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Now, those of you did not get a chance to participate in the early voting, you could only go to your precinct. So, in other words, you could not just go anywhere in the county which you live in. You have to go to your precinct. So, you need to look at your voter ID and look at where you need to go and vote. Hopefully, your voter ID is up to date. Otherwise, what they have done recently, they have changed precinct. So just so you know, make sure that you are at the right precinct and then your voter ID is up to date. Because once that happens, it's a way that some of those in power tend to use that technique to suppress the vote. Just if you don't know where to vote, and then we know some of you have a lot on your plate, you may choose to say, you know what, somebody else will vote on my behalf, but can't say that these days. You need to cast that ballot. So just make sure that you check with your a friend or someone who can assist you and to see where you need to vote. And but you have to go to your precinct. Again, you have to go to your precinct tomorrow morning. The polling place will be open from 7 a.m. in the morning until 7 p.m. Eastern time. So since we're in Florida, we're in the Eastern time zone. The poll will be closed at 7 p.m. and we will wait for the rest of the election. Now, hello there. Thank you so much. I'd like to say good evening to Fanette Paul from Orlando, also Mrs. Esther Pierre Lewis. So much read in that thread. Thank you. Well, I know where you're going with this. Red is victory, okay? uh, it's not the party you have in mind, but it's victory. All right. So thank you so much. What I have in the agenda for you this evening again, we like to say that it do not involve in any discussion. Those of you who may be going to work tomorrow, I don't think it's a good idea. So tonight, what I'm going to do pretty much, I just want to give you some ideas on how to go on about your day. There's a lot of tension out there. Tonight, I'm not going to delve too much into anything else, but just so you know that I just want you to be safe out there. Do not involve in any conversation that may irate someone else, and because everybody's on hot, they're under a lot of pressure. And you never know. I mean, you may be hanging out with a coworker and all is fine and dandy, and then. But I always tell my colleagues and friends, politics and religion, those should not be discussed at the workplace and also among friends. I mean, there's a limit to everything, and these things are dear to someone unless the person has transcended religion and politics. That's the only time we can come together and have an intelligent conversation. Please refrain from any discussion tomorrow with regard to politics, with regards to who you voted for. Whoever you vote for is personal, and you can discuss that with your friends and close friends. But I don't think the workplace will be a good venue for you to go ahead and discuss that. Just so you know, because I want you to come back here on the Robert DeVerney Show on a regular basis. And because if you've heard it somewhere, it's here. Because I have your best interests at heart, and this is what I want you to keep in mind. All right. Now, so much been said about to just be careful about tomorrow. I'd like to touch base with you with regards to states that you must keep in mind. Tomorrow, the states I'd like for you to keep in mind are the great state of Florida, the state of Florida, where I reside. It's a swing state. Florida has been blue the previous two elections, but the last two elections, President Trump won the state of Florida by a slim margin, and but President Obama did carry that state for 2008 and 2012. Now, VP Biden tried to flip that state blue again because they lost it the last election, and it's possible. We're just waiting. Thank you, thank you. Again, now, Dr. Azor, thank you for coming. I see that you're supporting Mrs. Pierre Lois here on the red. Like I said, the red is victory. Victory, my people. Victoire. Victory, victory, victory all day. So it has blue. If you're talking about red, I have blue and red here. So, you know, I'm united, you see. I think when America comes together, we all win. Is that correct? Thank you. Let me raise up. See, there's a lot of blue there and red as well, and some white. So, with regards to a state to be on the lookout for, that's right, my brother, red is victory. The state we need to be looking out for tomorrow, again, is the state of Florida. Look out for Pennsylvania, and look out for Wisconsin, and also Michigan. Now, those of you who may be looking at some state, the state of Florida had guaranteed that they will call that election tomorrow evening. In other words, Florida will not be a laughing stock of what happened in 2000, but we are looking forward to bring so much on the table in the great state of Florida, whereas we plan to call that election. Marilyn Roman, thank you for logging in. Thank you. I mean, we have a couple people from the great state of Georgia here. Georgia will be Georgia trying to turn the state blue. I don't know if that's possible. So I'm sure with your enthusiasm, and if you call your friends, bring somebody to the polling place, you never know what could happen. So I believe in the great state of Georgia, who's trying to turn that state blue. When that day happens, I'll be wearing blue all day, all year, if that happened this year. All right. Now, another state you may want to look at is the state of Michigan. Why Michigan is important? Michigan has always been a blue state, but we have seen during the last election, it was turned red, again by a slam margin. The reason why I'm putting emphasis on these states is the fact that there are the swing states. Swing states meaning that these states did not like California or the likes of Arkansas. California automatically that's a blue state. As you can see, the VP Biden did not waste any time. He only went over there just to collect some funds and do some fundraising. That's about it. State like Arkansas, this is automatically a red state. So Mississippi for Alabama, those are deep red states. So no need for us to even look at these states. But the state we need to look at, those are 4 states. It's the state of Florida, my state, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Wisconsin, and also the state of Michigan. And there has been a lot of things that have been said by the current president, occupant of the White House. He planned to call the election tomorrow night. I'd like to say to my viewers watching this evening, do not fall for it. Again, this is America. We have this great institution for the past 244 years, since 1776 when we declared independence. There has never been a time in the American history that the current administration would not pass the baton to the next administration. This is unheard of. This is something that I would say the great movie producer by the name of his name escaped me right now, Spielberg, who would ever think of something like this, to create a fiction movie, whereas an American president would not turn over power to the next administration. Only Steven Spielberg could think of something like this. It's worth laughing, I'm not panicking. I don't want you to panic. And there are a lot being said out there, and that's the reason why at the top of the show I put emphasis for you not to get too deep into any conversation with co-workers who may differ on what's happening. So just be careful. Be extra, extra, extra careful. Very important. Now, with regards to our standing in the world, America is the beacon of democracy. The world looks up to America when it comes to democracy. This is the most sustainable institution ever. Uh, America has never had a coup. We never have a president that has been deposed, and this is unspeakable. But we've seen in the past few months, even the past few weeks, a tendency to go toward that way. Some are on the sideline are cheering the idea, but I don't want you to panic. America has been through dark times in the past, and I'm sure this is not the last one. But what's important, we as Americans, we believe in democracy. Not only we believe in democracy, we are the example that the world wants to follow. We are the one who go outside to look at other elections, administer other elections, because we have a system in place. Oh, the message I'd like to send out to my leaders, the two candidates who are running for office. I'm not pinpointing at anyone in particular. Just remember that we are the moral compass that the world look to. So we have an obligation to maintain this the system that we have established for so many years, for 244 years. Again, I love to use that analogy. When America sneezes, everybody catches a cold. So imagine if we let them down. If we let the Americans, first of all, down, we let the world down. Now we have no say so. We cannot call ourselves the father of democracy. So we need to have an election that is reflective of the system that we have in place, reflective of our founding fathers, what they have envisioned, that we must reflect the country, reflect the world. But they come to us. They come to us for advice. They come to us for to craft their and they come to us to craft the Constitution. You know, so many people have copied the U.S. Constitution, yet they still fall short. Our Constitution only have 27 amendments. What does that tell you? For 244 years, just 27 amendments for over 244 years. That speaks volume. I know there's a lot of stake these days in the election, but the passion run wild. But we, the American people, the best we can do at this time is to uphold that sense of democracy that the whole world aspires to. And this is what I want from our leaders. This is a time that we can bring the country together, regardless what happened tomorrow night. I'm sure there are most of you on the left, you would love to see a candidate. That's fine. It's like watching a football game, you know. I'm sure there's Dr. Azor here. She's a big Pittsburgh fan. She's a big Steelers fan. I know Steelers could be playing against the Dolphins. You know, she's a good friend of mine. When those two are playing, she said, Robert, you know, I'm going with the Steelers. I said, I'm a diehard Dolphins. So, but at the end of the day, we still can have a decent conversation. We're still gonna have a meal together, and then that tells us that we put our differences aside, and then we see the best in us. I think this is the crossroad that America is at right now. That we view this election as a pivotal time in our history, and we just want the best ideas to prevail, the best candidate to prevail. Because at the end of the day, whoever wins, America wins. Now, how does America win? does America win the right way? What what is America is projecting to the world? So we need to keep those in mind. So it's important that we focus on this thing, because very often time we lose sight of the big picture. The big picture is every American family is better off today than they were 8 months ago. Is there jobs? Is there security? Is the retirement savings are in place? How about climate change? See, these are the things that we value as Americans. These are the things that we want our commander in chief to keep in mind. Because to be a U.S. president is to be a public servant. That's exactly what it is. It requires a lot of humility. It requires a lot of compassion for the least among us. That's what it is to be a U.S. president. We want young people to aspire to serve in the public arena. Because when we no longer able to serve, we want to make sure that those who follow us had a good example. This is my hope. This is what I want. This is what we need to look at in this election. Again, the world is watching us. The entire world is watching us. How this election will turn out and the aftermath. So we have a job to do here. We have a job. Just because before I jump into a different topic here, I'd like to ask some of my viewers right now, if they all voted, you just send me a thumbs up here. I'd like to see. I'm doing a quick little survey here because this is the last night before the election. And tomorrow I'm going to be live with you again. I'm going to be live with you tomorrow night, covering the election, giving you some prognostic of what to expect. And if you, okay, well, I just have a question here for, from our sister here, Sister Pierre Loris. She said we need a constitutional amendment to abolish the Electoral College. Well, you know what, this is something that's been debated for quite some time, the Electoral College. Just so you know, the framers, when they created the Electoral College, they created in the intent that only white not all whites, but property owner. If you have to be white and property owners to vote. So in other words, they want you to have a say in the election. At the same time, they wanted for everyone to have a say in the election, in the presidential election. As you could see, the Electoral College is only reserved for the President of the United States and the Vice President. Reason being, they want everyone in America to be represented. We'll take an example for like the state of California, which is the largest state in the union. Okay, you take a state like New York, Arizona. You look at the state of Florida. Now, if those big states were only, we have everybody vote in these states and voted the president, what would happen to a state like Maine? What would happen to a state like Connecticut? Rhode Island, who only have a few small, these people would not be represented because they wouldn't have any say so in the decision making. So the founding fathers, when they crafted the Electoral College, that was the sole intent, that everyone in the United States may be represented equally. So that's the reason why we have those Electoral College electors who actually cast the ballot on behalf of the state. So that's the reason why it's very important that we keep those in mind. So I think this is something that's been in the debate arena. It's going to take some time. It's going to take an act of Congress to abolish the Electoral College, but I don't see that anytime soon. There's no appetite for it right now. There's so much that the country is moving into a different scene right now. The appetite is not there on both parties. They talk about it, but in reality, we yet to see. Okay. Well, it was a very good question, Mrs. Pierre Lewis, on that. Very good. Perfect. All right. All right. Mrs. Dawlius said that all her family member voted. Very good. I have one here. What? Okay. All right. Very good. So yeah, very important. Again, the way that we can make some changes like tomorrow, those of you maybe in New York, Connecticut, please ask a neighbor, someone, take them to the voting. You know, this is your contribution because you've done your part. I think it's time that if we could help someone to cast a ballot, it would be a great idea. On the last note of Mrs. Pierre Lewis here, with regard to the Electoral College, you know, one thing I wanted to see happen if we could have November 3rd. It may not be November the 3rd. It could be another day where the on that election day it could be a holiday. Let's say they give that day off to anybody who choose to take that day off. There will be no penalty. I think it will be a great thing. I know most of you who's passionate about voting, you do the early voting, but to some folks it's very difficult. Some of them it may be it requires a lot. Those of you who have kids, you think about it, but again, just keep in mind that voting is important. All right, very important. Now, term limits. Okay, Dr. Izzo, you mentioned term limits. Term limits to what? Are you talking about Congress or are you talking about the Supreme Court? Well, because the president can only serve 2 terms. Where would you like to see term limits? Is that in the Senate, at the Supreme Court? Any particular spot? Would love to discuss that because I believe that term limits it's a good thing because you're trying to build a legacy. Either you have a term for 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years, but you know that you have a time frame that you must work within. So if you want to make a legacy, this is the time to do it. All right. Red County where I work, there's no school and no work. Oh, perfect. All right. I just got words here from the great state of Georgia. Gwinnett County has no school and no work tomorrow. This is unprecedented. This is great. Well, that particular county right there, they know the importance of voting. They make it available to parents and also workers to take that day off to exercise their civic duty. I think it's a great kudos to the great state of Georgia and the Gwinnett County. All right. Well, okay. You'd like to see some term limits in the Senate, the Supreme Court, and no lifetime appointment. Okay. Okay. Well, I think those are great points. Those are great points because every so often when we know that we are at a position where we know that, hey, we're appointed for life, who can touch us, really? Maybe death in that case. Okay. So, at this point, I believe the term limits will be a great things for the simple fact that it allows you to act sooner than later. Because very often time there is no time there is no time like the present. In other words, if I have to do something right now, let me do it. And that's exactly what happened in 2010 with the Affordable Care Act. The Democratic Party has both the House and the Senate, and that's something that has been always an important topic on their agenda, to pass healthcare law. So the fact that it controlled both the House and the Senate, they did not waste time. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on the left who felt that, well, why didn't they act on the immigration? Why didn't they act on other things? Well, this was because the healthcare is 1/6 of the U.S. economy. So think about it. If God forbid you have a surgery or some healthcare, something tragic in the family, that right there could go down the drain. So healthcare is very important. So the Democratic Party seized on that opportunity. They seized on that majority that they have in both the House, the Senate, and they had the presidency. So they went ahead and acted on it, and they passed the ACA, which at first it wasn't popular because I don't think they did a good job. Because every time you're going to let somebody else share your message, in other words, speak on your behalf, you as the author of that message could say it louder and better. And that's the reason why at the beginning the Affordable Care Act was not very popular, and no one knew about it. Just like Social Security, when Social Security came about, and they claimed that it was socialism, but look at what we're having right now. A lot of people live on Social Security. I mean, when you retired, if you didn't have a 401k, some kind of retirement funding with your employer, Social Security is a backbone. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that's what they depended on. But would you call that socialism? Not at all. But unless we vehicle the idea or the message clearly, and then again, there's a saying: "He who has the vision must lead." If you have the vision to carry healthcare, if you have the vision to carry Social Security ideas, then you should be the one uh, uh, I mean, giving out this message, and because you are the best author, you are the best person to share that with the rest of the nation. That's where we stand. Perfect. Okay. Massachusetts. Okay. Okay, Massachusetts as well. Okay, no school or no work tomorrow. So that's good. I think this is what we don't have that in Florida. Unfortunately, in Florida, we do not have that. But I believe that that's one thing that our officials should be looking into. I think we should encourage people to participate in the electoral system. I think when we have more in the system who has a say so, it's very important that we keep those core values intact. Um, when we all chip in, guess what? We all do well. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Massachusetts has the universal health care for years. It works for them. Yes, yes. Again, this wasn't as you could remember back in 2012 when former Governor Mitt Romney was running. This is something that he ran on for prior years, but when he was running, just so he could be in contrast with President Obama, he didn't think that was a great idea. Again, the healthcare in Massachusetts has been running well. As a matter of fact, the Obama administration copied off that system they have in Massachusetts. So when they implemented the ACA, so I think it's a great program. It started to get better. I mean, you think about it. Those of you who are with the pre-existing condition could not be, they cannot push you out. In other words, they have to serve you. They have to give you coverage. So think about it. It's very important that we have at least that coverage, and then it's for the peace of mind of the family. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So I got that. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Israel. Yeah. It's the universal health care, not day off for work tomorrow. Yeah. Only Gwinnett County has day off tomorrow. I'm sure some other state may do that, probably in the Northeast. But kudos to Gwinnett County on that. Okay. All right. Now, did everybody vote? I'm still looking for some hands up here. How many of you will volunteer to take someone or at least make some calls tonight to encourage someone to vote? Okay. Would you be able to do that? Would you be able to do that for the Robert DuVernay show? Because I'm sure you guys are intelligent people here. Those of you who are passionate about this election. The best you could do is to encourage someone else, someone who may be in need of an assistance, someone who may be. I'm sure if all of you are here, I'm sure all of you voted. That's for sure. I know that. But what I want you to do right now is to at least call 5 people, text them, and then guess what? If you call 5 people, and then at the end of the show, you let me know, hey. Robert DuVernay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact 5 people. Those of you who may be working in Gwinnett County, who got the day off tomorrow. I think it would be a great day. I mean, to take some folks to the polling place tomorrow morning. Again, it will be a great day. Have some coffee, have some tea, have some Dunkin' Donuts. Don't eat too many of those. Don't eat too much sugar. But I think it'll be a great thing. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm sure you're all excited. It's going to be a great day. At the end of the day, America will win. America will win. That's for sure. Okay. Okay. I just have a question here. You said your nephew and niece did not get their absentee ballot. Wow. Well, if they request the absentee ballot and for some reason they did not get it, it's a bit too late. My advice to you will be to have them report tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Make sure they are the first one in line and cast the ballots. And every time I see young people involved in the system, I think it's a great thing because they are the future of this great nation. So if they could indeed go ahead and make the line tomorrow morning. Again, there's going to be a lot of people in line tomorrow morning. Just be patient. If you did not have a chance to cast your ballot the last 2 weeks, tomorrow is D-Day. Is D-Day. So it's very important that we do that. Okay. Okay. Now, I'd like to. We only have 6 minutes left. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to make some announcement of what to come for the next for tomorrow and also for the month of November. The month of November, of course, it's Thanksgiving. We're very thankful for life. We are thankful for a lot of things, and we'd like to tell you that the Robert Vernon Show will be live as usual every Monday from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. We will be giving out some goodies. I know there's a surprise in store, so we will do that definitely. And tomorrow I'm going to be with you all night. Thank you for those thumbs up. Okay. I see Jackie Michelle said, my husband and I got to the polls at 7:30 a.m. and there was no line at all. Oh, very good. Well, I'm sure that must have been yesterday morning. I'm gonna have a wild guess. Got to be yesterday morning because the poll was closed today because they got the day off today, so they could be at the precinct. So it's important that you get there early. So you get there at 7:30 and there was no line at all. Very good. All right. All right. With regards to Dr. Azor, who she said she lose 2 votes. No, I don't think so. Those votes have not lost yet. I don't think you've lost any votes so far. You know why? Because we still have time. We have tomorrow morning. Okay. So I would encourage you to have your nephew cast his ballot. They can't. One is in the Army in Fort Hood, and the other is in Florida at University in Georgia. Oh my. Oh yeah. I just saw that. Oh whoa. That 2 vote. Well, why didn't they contact the Robert Vernon Show? We've been talking about the election for since the 7th of September. We're putting a lot of emphasis on that one. Wow. This could have been taken care of. Whoa. Well, actually, if your nephew is in the Army in Fort Hood, Texas, the guys in the Army, they have some special treatment. We may save 1 vote. Now, with your niece who was in Florida and registered in Georgia, that right there, unless she can fly in Georgia tomorrow and cast that ballot, because the Georgia poll will be over until 7 p.m. I don't know if she has any plan to be in the Georgia area. It's very important, young people. That's what happened. Very often we kind of lose a lot of vote with young people, especially those who stay on campus for studies. I know they're working hard, they're studying, and voting probably the last thing in their mind. So what you can do, I hope that young people next time make sure that if you know when the election is coming by, you could always have your parents mail it to you. You could always register. If you're on campus, and I don't think you should change your voter registration because anything could happen. But yeah, your home base at home, at your mom's house, at your dad's house, and you could always request absentee ballot and have them send it there, and then your parents will be nice enough and mail it to you, and you could cast your ballot at this time. Okay. See here, some in our community refuse to vote, thinking their vote does not matter because of the Electoral College. Can you please take 30 seconds and remind them that their vote matters? Thank you, Mrs. Biel Lewis. You know, this is a notion that's been going around for quite some time, that your vote does not matter. It does matter. Now, those of you who are watching the Robert Duvernay show right now, your vote does matter, just like you matter. So regardless what they may have told you in the past, your vote does not matter. This is a fable. This is fake news, like someone would love to say. Your vote matters because although we have the Electoral College, when you cast your ballot tomorrow, for those of you who will be casting your ballot on tomorrow on the 3rd, you technically casting the ballot for that elector who will be representing you. So in other words, if you live in a county like Harris County, which is the largest county in the state of Georgia, okay, like I live in Broward County, but we have the county that right below me, Miami-Dade, which is the largest county in the state of Florida. Out of the 67 counties in Florida, Miami-Dade is the largest one. So your vote matters, because if we all say the same thing, what would happen? And this is what the other party wants, that you're not being active in the voting system. Because when you don't participate, guess what? You have no say so. How could you ask me to act on your behalf? If you don't think I'm doing something, get me out. If I'm not worthy of the position of the job, I think the best way you vote me out. So your vote does matter. You should not dwell on this, and you should definitely cast your vote and vote. Vote and vote again. I could not emphasize more on it. Your vote does matter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right, thank you. Okay, I just have a question from Mrs. Theodore here. So, I'm not sure if you spoke about the Pennsylvania ballots, but what does this mean for this election? Very good. Pennsylvania has 20 electoral college. You would say, well, it's only 20 electoral college. It matters. Pennsylvania matters in this election. Simple fact, if you look at a state like Florida, which has 29 electoral college, just like New York has 29 electoral college. Those are big states. When you take a big chunk, think about the winner takes all. If you look at Pennsylvania, which is a swing state, if you could lock this in, although I don't know where you stand on, we're not going to call anybody out, but let's say if you are on the blue team and somehow you lose the state of Florida, but guess what? You secure the state of Pennsylvania and you secured Wisconsin. Think about it. You secured Michigan. You're good. The path to the presidency could have never been clearer than this. So it does matter. So that's the reason why you could see the last few days, the candidates have spending a lot of time in Pennsylvania for the simple fact that it's a crucial state. It's a swing state. I mean, if these 20 electoral college could be the difference maker in the election. And this is how President Trump won the last time. He won Pennsylvania by a slam margin. It's a very slim margin. State of Florida, slam margin. Wisconsin, slam margin. So in other words, the more, to go back to Mrs. Pierre Loris here, say if folks sat home in 26 and did not vote, if they wanted the party to win the presidency and they stayed home because they said the vote does not matter, guess what? If I said that, you said that, X said that, Y said the same thing, guess what happened? At the end of the day, they're losing. So that's what you see, how important your vote matters. Your vote matters, and you matter, as far as I know. Because you matter, your vote matters. Could not have said any clearer. So let's stay tuned, and then let's look at Pennsylvania. I want you to pull your popcorn tomorrow night. There's going to be a lot of things. That's a lot of things going to be going around. Like I said, don't panic and let a lot of votes. In recent week, the Supreme Court has allowed the state of Pennsylvania I mean, the Trump administration has lobbied the actually the GOP from Pennsylvania wanted them to stop the counting as of the third. But if you mail your ballot and it was actually postmarked before the election, and you have until Friday. They have until Friday for that to count. So in other words, it's very important that all vote counts. So all vote will be counted. So don't panic tomorrow. Again, tomorrow will be a night. Will give you hope. But then again, nothing is final until we don't know. We don't know how things are gonna turn out. If it's gonna be a blowout, then tomorrow may be the blue wave or the red wave. But I could see a blue wave, but I don't see a red wave. Okay. All right. Those of you who are mentioning my red here. So I see a blue wave tomorrow, but not a red wave. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Okay. You're welcome, Mrs. P. Lewis. Okay. Okay. Miss Michelle asked me, do you believe that we will be able to declare a winner tomorrow night? In other times, yes, but not tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, the only time we will because of the pandemic, we have so many ballots that were cast via mail, and most of them will not be counted as of tomorrow morning, even until the night. So it will be wise not to call a winner tomorrow night. But again, the if you look at the trajectory that we'll be having tomorrow night, we could know for certain where this is going. But again, that's what makes it interesting. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to keep me on the edge of my seat. What's next? How they're doing in certain counties? Also, another thing we need to look at the counties, because you remember that the election will be the votes will be feeding by the Board of Elections. And it's going to go by counties, okay? Look at some counties. Look at Harris counties, like counties like in Texas. Look at Shelby County in Alabama. Look at Miami-Dade in Broward, and look at Broward is automatically blue. It's a blue county, definitely. But look at Miami-Dade County tomorrow night, as they call in the election, because we have a group of voters from South America. We have a large Hispanic community who the Trump administration felt like he has a good grabbed on, and they may ultimately win the state of Florida. But look at those counties. Look at Miami-Dade County. Look at Orange County. Look in the I corridor in north of Orlando. Look at look at these areas. Those will give us some kind of a hint of where the election will be by the end of the night, and then for the next few days, and that's for sure. Because nothing is for sure. Tomorrow night we will not know anything for certain, but I'm sure it will give us a hint, some type of a hint of where we're going. All right. Okay. Do I feel that one party has an advantage the longer this plays out? For example, the 2000 election. Oh, most definitely. In that case, that will be the Democratic Party. That's an intelligent question. Thank you for bringing this up. Yes, the Democratic Party will definitely has an advantage if this drags on, because that will allow them to collect all the mailing ballot. Remember that during the pandemic, one thing that VP Biden emphasized on is the fact that to curb the pandemic, he encourages the voters to cast the ballot by mail. So this is never done before. This is groundbreaking. It never happened, but we have so many mailing ballots. So all these mailing ballots are coming in late. We have people who take the last minute to mail those out. Although the other party has told them, well, once you get your mailing ballot, fill it out properly, sign it, date it, and put it in the mail. But you still have people who sit on it. But then again, if that drags on, it will be more advantageous for the Democratic Party. And the reason why the Republican Party wants to call it tomorrow night. because there will be an influx of Republican voters who will be casting the ballot tomorrow morning. So now those who cast the ballot the same day, guess what? The ballot is there. It goes to the machine, and then the county can picks up on the number of the electorate of the voters. But now when it comes to the mailing ballot, some of them are coming in late. Some of the counties are they're waiting until tomorrow to start counting them. Although the rest of Florida, thankfully, they started the counting way sooner than anticipated because they don't want what happened in 2000 you just mentioned to happen again. So Florida will be a leader, and hopefully will be a beacon of hope for the rest of the nation. I'm proud to be a Floridian. I'm proud to be in the great state of Florida. I believe that the election here in the state of Florida will go as smooth as possible, and then we'll be able to call a winner for the state of Florida by tomorrow night. That I can guarantee you. I spoke to some big folks at the who actually at the helm of the system, and they have a good system in place. They put training, they put a lot of money, and I think that Florida will be in a better position tomorrow night. And after 20 years, we'll say we can get it right. It takes a whole score, 2 decades for Florida to get it right, and we're going to get it right. All right. Thank you all. If there's any more questions, we'll go ahead and close the broadcast. It's already 9:09, and we're going a little over time here. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Those of you maybe watching on Facebook, I would encourage you to sign on to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel, I'd like to you to sign there, and then that way you can get this feed directly to your to your device once I come on. Again, tomorrow night we'll be here at 8 p.m. Because since then the polling closed at 7, I want you to give enough little time, and then you can factor the debate, what's going to happen. Thank you, my brother Gao, and for logging in. Thank you for logging in, and it will be an interesting evening. Get your popcorn. Get your notepad. There's gonna be a lot of things being said tomorrow night, and then it's gonna be over. This is history in the making. This is history in the making. Again, stay tuned for the Robert Duvernay Show. Again, call a friend, help someone tomorrow morning, help them to the polling place to cast that ballot. Again, I'll be with you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. For live broadcast. I'll be feeding you information that I'm getting directly from the great state of Florida. And those of you who live in Georgia, I don't know what Georgia will do, but Georgia is a surprise. So is Texas. So we're looking for it. It's going to be an interesting evening. I look forward to it tomorrow night. Again, have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Again, if it's Monday night, it's the Robert Duvernay Show.